We wait. That's what we do. For 60 minutes, the driver battled out on the track. But we know our time is coming. For 25 seconds, the race is in our hands. There can be no mistakes. They cost time. We prepare, we focus, we test, and sometimes we make the difference.
After Clivio Piccioni and Steph Dusseldorp took victory at the opening round in Abu Dhabi, the 2011 FIA GT1 World Championship travelled to Zolder in Belgium, where Marc Basseng and Marcus Winkelhock dominated a dramatic weekend, taking victory in the championship race. Portimao was next when Nissan began to show their strength. Lucas Luhr and Michael Crum took the victory, whilst bad luck blighted their teammates Peter Dumbreck and Richard Westbrook, picking up a puncture. There was plenty of action at the Sachsenring in Germany, where both Swiss racing cars were eliminated on the opening lap. There were battles throughout the field, but up at the front, Marc Basseng's trip into the gravel allowed Christian Hohenadel and Andrea Piccini to take the win, with Aston Martin becoming the first brand to win for a second time in 2011. GT1 became the first category to use the brand new Silverstone wing for the 5th round of the championship, the arena circuit being the venue for the now infamous clash between Richard Westbrook and Stefan Mucker. After a frantic battle for the lead, Luhr and Crum became the first double winners of the season. In Navarra, it was a championship race win for Nicky Pastorelli and Dominic Schwager under the Spanish sun. Aston Martin were hoping for good things in the south of France as the GT1 World Championship made its way to the Paul Ricard high-tech test track. But unfortunately, after a good start, the Hexis machines almost came together, with Piccioni spinning. Westbrook and Dumbreck retired with a puncture, allowing Luhr and Crum to take control of the championship with their 3rd win of the season. FIA GT1 then made its first visit to China at the Ordos International Circuit. A packed crowd arrived in the Kangbashi district to see a commanding victory for the Mark VDS Ford GT of Fred Makovicky and Maxime Martin. A week later, the cars were in Beijing for a street demonstration outside the 2008 Olympic Park. The weather took a turn for the worse, and in the only wet race of 2011, Darren Turner and Thomas Enger came through to take victory. At San Luis in Argentina, Crum and Luhr wrapped up the title in the qualifying race, so it didn't matter that they were eliminated in this massive start line shunt. Exim Bank Team China won the race, but Hexis Racing did enough to clinch the team's title.
I just want to say one word. We are the best team in the world this year.
To be champions now is wonderful. For me and Michael, winning with the number 23 is just great.
And here's a look at the 2012 grid. We've got 2 Mercedes, 2 BMWs, 2 Ferraris, 2 Audis, 2 McLarens, 2 Lamborghinis, 2 Aston Martins, 2 Porsches and 2 Ford GTs out here on the grid this afternoon. Let's find out a little bit more about the runners and riders that are going to be taking part in the first round of the 2012 FIA GT1 World Championship here at Nogaro. The Aston Martin brand are represented this season by Valmont Team Russia. World Series by Renault race winner Andreas Zuber will pilot the number 6 car alongside 3-time Russian touring car champion Alexei Vasilyev. After a strong 2011 in a Mark VDS Racing Ford in FIA GT1, Maxime Martin returns this year in the 2nd Aston, partnered by Russian single-seater racer Sergei Afanasyev.
It's fantastic to be here. I represent Russia and I represent my sponsors and I represent Aston Martin. I'm really glad to be in a World Championship. It's going to be fun and we'll do our best to fight for the title.
The Belgian Audi club team WRT are running a pair of R8s in 2012. The team will be running the updated LMS Ultra model with a strong driver lineup. Audi regulars Oliver Jarvis and Frank Stippler will drive the number 33. whilst Formula 3 racer Laurens Vanthoor will be joined in the 32 car by massively experienced GT racer Stéphane Ortelli.
For us to be here in the World Championship is really, really important. I think we have a really strong R8 car, and we've been winning races last year, but not at this level. I think we are strong, and we're going to fight to the maximum for sure.
The 2010 FIA GT1 World Champions Vita for One racing team returned to the series this year with the BMW Z4. Matthias Lauda, son of 3 times Formula 1 World Champion Nicky, will pilot the 17 machine alongside Nicky Meyer-Melnhof. After a massively impressive GT1 debut at the final round of last season, Jelmer Berman is back, racing the 18 car alongside team boss and 2010 Drivers' Champion Michael Bartels.
It's a nice feeling with the German brand BMW. It's also for me coming back home, because when I started my career I was already for 1 year BMW factory driver, and now running the BMW Z4 in the World Championship is something with a very special feeling.
The prestigious Ferrari brand is back in the top tier of GT racing, being run by AF Corsa. GT3 champion Francesco Castellacci continues his association with the team, driving the number 4 458 alongside Enzo Ide. Ex-A1GP racer Felipe Salaquada will be in the number 3 car, with former FIA GT2 champion Tony Verlander alongside him.
I think it's a good car, good to be in this championship. I've seen some of our opponents on action in these days, so I think it's going to be a tight and exciting championship.
Andy Soucek and Emanuele Moncini will be running in the number 11 Sunred Ford GT, as the American marque continues its association with GT1. 2004 Italian F3 champion Matteo Cressoni will be in the second car, having raced in various GT championships for the past 6 years. He will be joined by another Italian F3 champion, this time from 2002. Serbian Milos Pavlovic will be alongside him, making his 3rd FIA GT1 appearance this weekend in Nogaro.
It's great to be here. It's great to be part of this championship and fourth, so we're gonna fight hard and try to be up front.
Lamborghini will be run by the experienced Reiter engineering squad in 2012. Peter Cox has been racing for the brand since 2004, and his huge experience will be complemented by Porsche Carrera Cup Asia champion and current World Touring Car driver Darrell O'Young. 2010 GT1 runner-up Thomas Enger will move from the Aston Martin to the Lamborghini this year, and will be joined in the 24 car by German Prince Albert von Thurn and Taxis.
Feels very good to be here in the World Championship competing with such a strong grid. We are all very excited, and we hope that we can compete for the top places.
McLaren makes its debut in international GT racing this season, with reigning teams champions Hexis running 2 cars. Alvaro Parente played a large role in the development of the machine as McLaren test driver, and he'll be joined by French youngster Grégoire de Moustier. In the number 1 car is Steph Dusseldorp, retained from Hexis' campaign last year, and 2010 Porsche Carrera Cup champion Fred Makovicky.
We are world champion in 2011, and this is a new goal with McLaren to do the same as the last year with the Aston Martin, and we hope so to continue to be world champion again 1 year and 1 year and 1 year.
all-inkl.com Munich Motorsports continue in FIA GT1, running a pair of Mercedes SLSs. The driver lineup is largely unchanged, with Mercedes driver Thomas Jaeger the only newcomer to the team, partnering Nicky Pastorelli in the number 37 car. Ex-Formula 1 driver Markus Winkelhock is in the 38 machine, alongside team boss and experienced GT racer Marc Basseng.
The SLS is a great car, really reliable, completely 180 degrees change to the Lamborghini Murcielago we had before. A great car, but this car you can work with it, you can run 2 days without any problems, and that's what we need.
Exim Bank Team China will represent Porsche in this year's World Championship. After competing in the Asian Porsche Carrera Cup last season, Ren Wei will be alongside ex-FIA Formula 2 racer Benjamin Lariche in the number 8 car. V8 supercar driver Matt Halliday will be in the 9 machine, alongside 2011 FIA GT3 runner-up Mike Parisi.
I am very happy, and it's a great pleasure for me to be here in Nogaro. It's my home circuit, so I am very motivated and very happy to be here in the World GT1 Championship. It's a big chance for me, and I hope that we are going to do a good job with Matt Halliday.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the opening race of the 2012 FIA GT1 World Championship. It's the qualifying race which will decide the grid for tomorrow's championship race coming to you on Easter Monday. You can see the cars have just set out on a very damp Nogaro circuit for their formation lap. My name is Jack Nichols. Up with me here in the commentary box we have John Watson. Haley Coxon is down in the pits, and John, it's looking a bit slippery out there.
Yes, indeed. You can see on the camera lens as they come through turn 4 that the rain is not falling right now, but it did fall on the out lap, and that caused a problem for some cars. It's been declared a wet race. That means teams have the option to use either the dry weather slick or the wet weather tyre, but they are also mandatorily required to run with their road lights, headlights and taillights, and just checking everybody has complied with that particular regulation. Otherwise, what happens? You get penalised.
So, pole position for this race, as you can see, is that red number 3, AF Corsa Ferrari. Philippe Salaquardo will be starting that after Tony Verlander took pole position. It's driver number 2 that are going to be starting these cars. Then it's second and third place. There they are, the 2 WRT Belgian Audi Club Audis. Laurent Vanthorpe starting second on the grid. Oliver Jarvis behind him. There is the number 2 Hexis McLaren. Now the number 1 car unfortunately won't be taking the start of this race. Steph Dusseldorp went out, had a little bit of an off going to the grid.
Yes, he did. He damaged the front of the car, not repairable in time. He is distraught. There you see Fred Makivicki, his teammate, consoling him.
The safety car has pulled off. We wait for the lights to go out here at Nogaro. So do the drivers. 1 hour of racing begins now, and it's a very good start from the 4 Ferrari of Castellacci, but he's been bulked out. Coming through the middle is the 33 Oliver Jarvis. Can he get past his teammate? It's almost 3 wide going into the first corner. We go on board with Marcus Winkelhock a little bit further back. It is the Ferrari who holds the lead. The top 3 are still in grid order, but the number 4 Ferrari of Castellacci has dropped down a bit.
Yes, and as the Mercedes has got itself up to 4th place, now one of the McLarens trying to come around. As the Lamborghini, in fact, come around the outside of turn 4, and it really is difficult. There's still a very small amount of rain falling. But the Mercedes trying to come back round turn 5. If he can get alongside the Lamborghini as they come out, no, the Lamborghini closes the door on the exit of turn 5. Now through turn 6, flat out down the straight.
Fantastic move around the outside of turn 4 by Thomas Enger, but now it looks as though Oliver Jarvis is having to go very, very defensive on the run down into the hairpin, because Thomas Enger is a man on a mission. He's super late on the brakes in that Lamborghini. Is he going to get it stopped in time? He is. Can he pull off the move? We've got the Ferrari and the McLaren going side by side. Thomas Enger has made it past. That's 2 outside passes in the space of a lap from Thomas Enger. Brilliant start from him. Castellacci desperate to find his way back up the order, as we've got a Lamborghini and a Porsche side by side as we go on board with Marcus Winkelhock. That is Castellacci just in front of us, and now Enger's going for second place.
Well, there's a brave move by Thomas Enger, but of course the experience of GT racing, in fact the skill of Thomas Enger in these conditions.
Brilliant move from Thomas Enger. He got the good run out of the final corner. He'd gone a little bit wide. Albert von Turnen Taxis can't believe his luck. He's going to be inheriting the second place car as things stand. So the order is Philippe Salaquardo out in the lead in the Ferrari, Thomas Enger up into second, Lawrence Vanthor is in third place in the Audi, then 4th place is the other Audi of Oliver Jarvis, 5th place is Thomas Jaeger at the moment. But Thomas Enger is going to be in the lead before too long. He's right on the back of Philippe Salaquardo. He's looking to the outside line again. This is an absolutely sterling first lap and a half from Enger as we go side by side again. The Lamborghini's got the overlap, almost touching as they come under the bridge, but Thomas Enger moves into the lead. The Lamborghini team, Reiter Engineering, running the cars this weekend, absolutely delighted. And Enger, is he going to start to pull away now at the front of the field? As we go on board with Vanthor, he's going to try and get past that Ferrari.
Well, he's following in the foot tracks of the Ferrari. We've seen what Thomas Enger did. He went offline to try and give himself better position off a corner, and whereas the younger Vanthorpe, he's just simply following along behind Salaquardo and not making progress. But now look at Parent coming down the inside of the track alongside the Mercedes, 3 abreast almost into turn 7.
Is he going to make it through? Yes, it looks like he is. The Porsche is going to try and follow through as well, but he's not quite close enough. That's Matt Halliday, the New Zealander, starting that car, so that's made up a few positions. Is this going to be the move for second position here as we go on board with Vanthor around the outside of the long right-hander at turn 4? If he can just get enough power on, he'd have the inside for the next corner, but it's not working out for him just yet. Such a tight circuit here. And look at the McLaren, he's all over the Audi coming down into turns 11 and 12. Easy job done for Alvaro Parente there. nothing that the 33 machine driven by Oliver Jarvis could do. There is the WRT team not looking too impressed that they've just lost a position. There's Thomas Enger comfortably in the lead of this race in the Reiter Engineering Lamborghini, but who's in second? It is still the Ferrari, but it's side by side for third place. Vanthoor having to really defend. Parente trying to go all the way around the outside. He'll have the inside line for the little kinkies on the grass. Holds it. Laurens Vanthoor, I think, is up into second position. Yes, he is.
Let's look again on board. Here's the overtake.
He's going to... Wow,
oh,
look
just
at
carried the speed, just simply carried the speed out of turn 1 into turn 2.
And it's side by side behind. Castellacci still trying to get past Thomas Jaeger. He's been trying to do that for the past 18 minutes, but it hasn't worked out for him quite yet as they come into the double right-hander at 9 and 10. Parent, little look up the inside. Has he got the overlap? I think he has. Will this be Parent up into third position? Yes, it is. I think he gave him just a little nudge there to try and open the door. There's Frank Stippler. He's looking to take over from Oliver Jarvis. So will they use the pit stops to try and get past that Ferrari? Although it is arguable that Tony Verlander is the quicker of the two drivers. So they might need to leapfrog the Ferrari before Verlander gets in the car.
Well, I think there's going to be a choice. With 2 minutes now remaining before the pit lane is opened. And just a question of who decides at what point. It's a crossover time between the circumstance on the track of track conditions and whether it's better to come in early, get your pit work done. Alongside, coming up into turn 1.
Yep, into fourth position, I should say, goes Oliver Jarvis. He makes it past Philippe Salaquada.
Here's the move once again, coming out of turn 14. Didn't help, but he bumped the car at the end of the curve. There's a little drop-off before you get back to the racetrack, and Oliver Jarvis had the momentum out of turn 14, the easiest of overtakes for Oliver Jarvis.
Philippe Salaquada pits, so does Peter Cox, so does Michael Bartels. So the three of them choosing to come into the pits very, very early indeed, as early as possible, really. Tony Verlander waving, saying, "Come here, Philippe, I want to go." And are those... There's certainly wets there. Which ones are they going to go for? Wets on the front.
Can't believe it.
Yeah, they had wets on.
They had wets. I'm surprised. That's maybe part of the reason why, because I assumed from the weather conditions, although it said wet race, it was optional to start on wets or go onto slicks. But they did start on wets, and they're putting wets back onto the McLaren as well, and the Mercedes as well.
Yep, so that's how things have transpired. It must be, there's hardly any spray being kicked up, so it must be really, really marginal.
And clearly that's why we were seeing the McLaren coming down on the right-hand side of the straight, because they were on those wet tyres.
So, out of the pits goes the Ferrari, now being piloted by Tony Verlander, comfortably clear of Marc Paseng. Into the final sequence of corners. Is this going to be pit in for Thomas Enger?
It looks
yes,
like
it is.
Yep.
This is going to be important times for the Reiter Engineering squad. I think the Audi is going to stay out. Yes, we might have the second Audi come in of Oliver Jarvis, because I think Frank Stippler was ready in the pits. But here we go. Let's see this pit stop, John.
It's very tight. You've got the Ford there, just almost intruding into the pit lane for Albert von Tunen-Taxis to get into the car. Thomas Enger's out. He's done a great job to get that car into the lead, pull out, and now we see the majority of the field have opted to come in at the middle part, effectively, with the pit lane window being open. But it'll be Laurent Vanthoor who stayed out one more lap. And it'll be a little bit more difficult for Albert von Tunen-Taxis getting into the Lamborghini, having not driven it in these conditions, having not driven it on wet weather tyres. Get dialed in, so he's got to make the best. He's got to primarily make sure he doesn't make an error.
Away goes Albert von Tunen-Taxis then. Frank Stippler is about to leave the pits in his 33 Audi. How quickly can von Tunen-Taxis get up to speed, get up to grips with this damp circuit? Is he going to be coming into the pits this time, Laurens Vanthoor? Yes, he is. So this is going to decide the lead. Can they work quick enough in the pit stops to get out in front of that Reiter Engineering Lamborghini? Stefan Ortelli, massively experienced driver, waiting to get in.
Yeah, you have to think that the lead that Vanthoor has got coming in, handing over to Stefan Ortelli, hugely experienced driver in sports cars and in GTs in particular. So all they need is a clean pit stop, and the pace and experience of Ortelli will more than counterbalance the position at the effectively second place Lamborghini now in the hands of Albert von Tunen-Taxis will have. So let's wait and see. Let's not underrate what Albert will do in that Lamborghini. There it is, coming out of turn 12.
I tell you what, it's going to be close.
Yes, he's done a good job. Not made a mistake. He's kept the car clean and tidy. He's now coming through the final turn 14 onto the straight. We wait to see, has the Audi moved? No, it's not. The Audi's still in the pit. Wheels being attached, so Albert may well find himself in the lead of this race.
He does. Albert von Taxis goes into turn 1 and holds the lead. And in fact, the McLaren got in front in the pit stops.
More importantly, McLaren have got ahead in the pit stops.
With this damp circuit, is he going to be coming into the pits this time, Laurens Vanthoor? Yes, he is. So this is going to decide the lead. Can they work quick enough in the pit stops to get out in front of that Reiter Engineering Lamborghini? Stefan Ortelli, massively experienced driver, waiting to get in.
Yeah, you have to think that the lead that Vanthoor has got coming in, handing over to Stefan Ortelli, hugely experienced driver in sports cars and in GTs in particular. So all they need is a clean pit stop, and the pace and experience of Ortelli will more than counterbalance the position at the effectively second place Lamborghini now in the hands of Albert von Taxis will have. So let's wait and see. Let's not underrate what Albert will do in that Lamborghini. There it is, coming out of turn 12.
I tell you what, it's going to be close.
Yes, he's done a good job. Not made a mistake. He's kept the car clean and tidy. He's now coming through the final turn 14 onto the straight. We wait to see, has the Audi moved? No, it's not. The Audi's still in the pit. Wheels being attached, so Albert may well find himself in the lead of this race.
He does. Albert von Taxis goes into turn 1 and holds the lead. And in fact, the McLaren got in front in the pit stops.
More importantly, McLaren have got ahead in the pit stops. That's a gift for McLaren. Good job by Hexus. We've known their pit stop skills over previous years by being generally the quickest of all the teams in GT1.
Here comes Ortelli. He knows that he needs to attack immediately. Looking up the inside, can he do it on the brakes? Yes, he can.
Again, you can see that the Audi, a little bit of extra straight line speed allowed him to get into that advantageous position into turn 7. Here we see on the back straight, gets a small amount of two, but really it's all under braking. Ortelli on the brakes that little bit later.
There you can see the standings. Well, that was an incredible opening lap and a half from Thomas Enger. Let's hear from him. He's with Haley.
Thomas, wow, what a fantastic performance. You certainly took advantage of these wet conditions.
Well, the boss told me that I let them look like beginners, but it's not me, it's the car. Thank you, Hans Reiter. What a fantastic Lamborghini. What a fantastic car in wet conditions and also in dry conditions, as we've seen yesterday in Q2. So I'm really happy now. Just keep fingers crossed that Albert can bring it home in the first position. But it's just beginning of the weekend. We need to do the same tomorrow. But it looks like Albert is now increasing his gap. So that's looking good so far.
Thank you.
Here comes Frank Stippler, challenge on for third position, trying to get past the Hexes. He's gone for it into turn 1, and he's got past Gregoire de Moussier. Hangs the door out nice and wide. De Moussier had no chance to come back. Look at this. This is about to go 3 wide down into the hairpin. This is one of the AF Corsa cars. Enzo Eid starting to come under pressure from Daryl O'Young. So O'Young has recovered fairly nicely, and he's going to get up the inside into turn 8. Good move from O'Young, but he'll be on the outside line for the next corner. They've also got Mike Parisi behind them, all the way around the outside. Daryl O'Young, he needs to do it again. Oh, he has. Brilliant work there from the young Chinese driver. Enzo Ide taking the wide line in, but another attempt. Ide will have more traction on the outside, but that Porsche is good on traction and good in a straight line. This also is going to allow Jelmer Berman to come through in the Vita Form Racing Team BMW. Look at this, on board we go with Ortelli. There is the race-leading Reiter Engineering Lamborghini in front. The problem for von Taxis is his lap times have been a bit erratic. Some laps he's matched Ortelli. That last lap, he lost 9/10 of a second, so down the back straight they come, in towards the hairpin.
Both are powered by the same V10 engine. Interesting to see that neither can gain or is at a loss in terms of Ortelli a lot later in the brakes, braking on the racing line. Turn Taxis had to brake slightly earlier on the defensive line. Can he dive down the inside into turn 10? It's a big yes.
Oh, good move
very
there.
Very easy indeed.
Von Taxis did well to see Ortelli coming in his mirrors, clapping away in the WRT garage. Thomas Enger, what's his reaction?
Well,
little giggle, he doesn't mind.
Well, look, I think he's delighted that his teammate's doing such a good
Absolutely.
job.
Look at that, just drove up the inside. He didn't compromise his, because what you do with that right-hand kink is you compromise the exit in order to get the best turn in to turn 9. Ortelli just went as fast as possible through 8, got his nose up the inside and made the move stick. And off goes the number 8 car. That's Benjamin Lariche. That's Benjamin Lariche, yeah. Mike Breeze is in the 9 car. Lariche had a trip through the field earlier on. This wasn't team orders, was it? They're going for it, these two all-inkl Mercedes.
Well, quite right too. They're here to go motor racing, not out for a Sunday afternoon run. But you've got to remember, if you're going to battle with your teammate, the cardinal rule is don't take your teammate off in the process.
But here's Albert von Taxis. Can he prevent a WRT Audi R8 1-2 here at Nogaro? Von Taxis is going to have some very wide German shoulders to hold all this pressure, and he's going to need a very wide Lamborghini to hold off the Audi. Is he going to go defensive? He needs to down into turn 1. He does a little bit half-heartedly. That leaves the door open. Frank Stippler glides through on the inside, and von Taxis, it looked like he was going to defend, but then thought...
No, I mean, Stippler was quicker off turn 14, got the run across the start-finish line. The Lamborghini was on the right-hand side of the track to take the normal racing line, and all of a sudden, the Audi 33 of Frank Stippler makes a pass, makes it look really very easy, but that was a well-thought-out and a very well-executed overtake by the German driver in the Audi.
We're on to the final lap of the race, and the battle for the final podium position is really going on. Albert von Taxis holding on to that third place at present, but out in front it's Stefan Ortelli through the left-hander at turn 5, then into turn 6, and here comes the attack. De Moustier around the outside. Von Taxis needs to be careful on the exit because the McLaren is going to get a much better drive. He's done a decent enough job. He's going to need to force the McLaren to the outside on the run down into the hairpin.
But the McLaren just doesn't have it where it counts on the straight. We know that the equivalency that every car has got to be adjusted by has hurt the McLaren in a straight line. He's got the indicator going, the right-hand indicator, so busy in the cockpit he's clipped it with his hand. I know we should call this McLaren the McLaren Ronzo.
That's a great plan. You should suggest that one, Watty.
I know that. I know how that will go down in Woking. Not very well.
Into the final sequence of corners. Is this going to be the last opportunity? Surely into this hairpin. Down into the right-hander. Is De Moustier going to be close enough? I don't think he is, you know. Von Taxis may just hold on to this third place. Stefan Ortelli, after an impressive start from Laurent Vanthor, closed down the gaps in front of him, made the moves where it matters. Ortelli came into the car and is going to win the qualifying race here at Nogaro. The checkered flag falls. Stefan Ortelli and WRT Audi delighted with the win, delighted with second, and it's Albert von Taxis holding on to third position after a magical opening lap from Thomas Enger. Third place for the Lamborghini. McLaren in fourth position in the hands of Grégoire de Moustier. Tony Verlander, there he is. He's going to come home in fifth place in the AF Corsa. Ferrari took pole position yesterday. The WRT team very, very satisfied. It's been a very impressive drive from Albert von Taxis to hold off all that pressure. There's Stefan Rattel in the background congratulating Thomas Enger on what was an absolutely magical drive from him. We will now hear from our race winners, Stefan Ortelli and Laurent Vanthor. They're down in the pit lane with Hayley Coxon.
Congratulations, Stefan. Did you expect to be so strong in these conditions?
Not really. I mean, it's the beginning of the year. You don't really know. For sure, I have a lot of experience here in the rain in comparison with the other drivers. I've been racing here for 20 years, so it's a good way to start in France for us. As it will be the second race will be in Belgium for my teammate. He will be strong there as well, but he was just driving astonishing at the beginning of the race. You know, it's for me the result at the end. It's depending to the first 20 minutes, and he didn't crack under the pressure. Did an amazing job. I'm just so proud of him and proud of the WRT team. You know, 1-2 for us. It's I don't realize really, but we can really be proud for Audi and WRT. It's nice. It's nice. I love the car to drive here around. Sure.
So very happy driver pairing up at the front there for the 32 Belgian Audi Club team. Those drivers, but also will be joined on the front row by Oliver Jarvis and Frank Stippler.
Congratulations, Frank. What a result for the team, a 1-2. Do you think you're going to do this well in the second race?
Well, that's perhaps the target, but we try to score some points as well, and I'm quite happy to be on the podium with the other two guys. Stefan did a great job. He told me in the beginning of the weekend that he was an instructor here 20 years ago, so there was some kind of an issue if we can beat him here, and he did a good job. Lawrence as well. I think the whole team, Ollie as well in the beginning of the race, and I tried to close the gap later on a little bit, but I had to struggle with my rear tires. They fade away a lot, and just as I kept the Lambo, I tried to keep the second place.
Thank you, guys.
Let's hear from Albert von Taxis and Thomas Enger down in the pits with Haley.
Congratulations, Thomas. It's goodbye, Aston Martin. Hello, Lamborghini.
Yeah, hello, Lamborghini. What a tremendous car. You could see in the first stint it wasn't me driving, it was the car driving me. And that's why I was so fast. I mean, great job from the guys in the pits, great job from the whole Reiter engineering, great job from Albert as well to hold up the third position because our rear tires were going away. If it's raining, we could be flying even more than we were. But thanks for this result, and we can't wait for tomorrow to repeat or even make a better result.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Nogaro in France for the first championship race of the 2012 FIA GT1 World Championship. Rainy yesterday, but today it's an absolutely glorious day. The weather forecast was predicting 17. We've got 19.3 degrees air temperature for what is the opening round of the 2012 FIA GT1 World Championship. Here's how the calendar looks for the rest of the season. Head to Zolder in 2 weeks' time, trips to Spain, Slovakia, Portugal, and then the flyaways begin, heading off to China, Korea, Russia, and ending the season, what seems an age away, at the start of December in India. Let's hear from SRO boss Stefan Rattel.
Stefan, what a stunning looking grid. You've done it once again. It must be great to bring the FIA GT1 World Championship to Nogaro with the support of all the fans here.
It has been a long winter, but here we are with one more step in the professionalization of the championship. Now here we are with 9 different brands represented and 2 cars per brand. That's basically the format of Formula One, and I think it brings very clear product for the fans. It's easy to follow. Choose the brand you like and see how it does in the race.
Thank you, Stefan. Enjoy.
French national anthem here at Nogaro. The crowd are on their feet. Let's hear from Alvaro Parente. He's with Haley.
Alvaro, different conditions today, starting on the second row. How do you feel you're going to do?
Now we're feeling confident, looking forward for this race. Greg is starting, and yeah, we're just going to try to keep out of the confusion, and hopefully there'll be none, and try to be on the pace and have a good first stint, and then when I jump in the car also try to have a clean and fast stint and see where we finish, you know. So we're taking it easy, focused, and trying to do the best job we can.
As I mentioned earlier, the Coupe de Pack here at Nogaro this weekend, the Easter Cup, has brought in a bumper crowd, very traditional. Many French racing drivers have come up through the ranks here at this Nogaro circuit. As the formation lap gets underway, it's going to be a 1 hour race. Pit stop window will open 25 minutes into the race and close 35 minutes into the race, and the drivers will make their pit stop, change tyres, and then head out for the second stint. It is a magnificent looking field, and they will form up in 2x2 to take the rolling start. The front row of the grid, we haven't mentioned them yet. The Belgian Audi Club Team WRT, they took a 1-2 in the qualifying race yesterday. They had very strong performances with the Audi R8s, albeit in FIA GT3 specification as well. The Audi's looking very, very strong around this circuit.
Yes, I think the conditions yesterday played to the Audi's strengths.
We're about to have 9 brands take to the track for the first championship race of this 2012 FIA GT1 season. We wait for the lights to go green, and we're away. On board we go, straight away with the 38 car of Marc Basseng. He's trying to find a way through. It's a good start from the Aston Martin towards the inside, but Stefan Ortelli holds the lead as they come into turn 1. It looks as though the McLaren's trying to squeeze from the inside for third position, but currently it is still the Ferrari of Tony Verlander that's made his way through.
Look at Fred McAvick. He's made up about 7 or 8 places already. Very on board with the McLaren car number 1, and it's come from the back of the grid. He's going all the way around the outside. Light contact with one of the Mercedes on the exit of turn 4, and then we watch from down in the inside alongside, I think it might have been the Peter Cox, Darrell O'Young, Lamborghini.
That's an astonishing start from Fred Makovicky, but meanwhile, Frank Stippler is going to have to be coming under a lot of pressure now, and Tony Verlander's trying to go around the outside on the brakes. That's going to be a tough ask. He's still stuck his nose in there in the Ferrari. We'll wait and see how that transpires. Rest of the field filtering through down to the hairpin. He's gone around the outside of the hairpin, Tony Verlander. Fantastic move.
A lot of action on the opening lap. So far, it's all been clean, other than the very mildest of touches running behind that excellent bank team. China Porsche coming down through the turn 10, down into 11. Nobody trying to dive down the inside defence from the Porsche, trying to prevent the Mercedes from making it through into turn 12.
Mark Basseng then exiting into turns 13 and 14. He is behind Mike Parisi then, which I think is a reverse of the positions in which they started. But Stefano Telli already pulling out a little bit of breathing space over Tony Verlander. Tony Verlander, of course, quickest man in qualifying on Saturday, so he's got plenty of pace around here. Mike Parisi then has gone from 9th to 6th. That's a pretty good start. Fred Makovicky, though, has gone from 17th to 9th in the opening lap.
Yeah, and that was all basically done on the pit straight. How he got the jump on everybody else, but I think there was a little bit of bunching going into turn 1. Fred Makovicky took the long way around, took his opportunities and made up those positions, and that's the best part of a 7-car place jump he's had.
Fred Makovicky was looking like he was trying to get past Nicky Pastorelli on the run down into the hairpin. He's on the outside of both the all-inkl cars.
And the McLaren goes around the outside of one of those two all-inkl cars. I think it was Nicky Pastorelli that Makovicky was trying to find a way past.
He didn't quite make it.
Didn't make it. He got alongside on the exit, but Nicky Pastorelli had the car to deny Fred Makovicky that position.
Fred Makovicky then is absolutely flying at the moment out there through the right-hander at turns 11 and 12, then back out towards the new pit straight. But the top three have pulled a little gap over the McLaren, who's acting as a bit of a traffic jam, slowing down Enzo Eid, who's made a very good start as well. 10th to 5th for Enzo Eid in that AF Corsa car. So it's the top three have started to pull away. Then from 4th backwards, we're getting Demoustier, Eid, Mike Parisi, Mark Basseng, Nicky Pastorelli, Fred Makovicky and Darrell Young completing the top 10. And this is going to have to be a very wide drive from Demoustier.
And Enzo Eid is putting a lot of heat onto the McLaren, driven by Gregoire Demoustier coming into turn 4. And in a sense, the McLaren right now appears to be backing up these 3 cars, the Ferrari, the Porsche, and the 2 Mercedes, and in effect bringing along Fred Makovicky in the second of the 2 hexes, McLaren's, to become a part of a 6-car race.
So they head out down the back straight once more. Are any of them going to be close enough to slot into the slipstream? You can see a fantastic queue of cars making their way down the back straight. It looks as though one of the Valmont racing cars, Maxime Martin, was about to get through. Mike Parisi having a little look towards the inside of Enzo Eid. Eid on himself has gone up the inside of the McLaren, and I think the Ferrari has passed the McLaren. It is, and Mike Parisi is going to try and follow through into the left-hander, and he does so. So 2 positions lost in the space of 2 corners. He's been shuffled out. Demoustier on the grass, dropping down the order. His teammate might be past him too.
Yeah, all that began at the end of the straight where he lost the first position to the Ferrari, and then he was out of position on the racetrack, and he just got simply bullied out of the way. But that's what motor racing is about. You create your own opportunities.
Oh,
this
number 1 McLaren
into the
Fred Makovicky, after a genius start, engine off, the Hexis crew going straight to work in the back of the car.
That's where I think that's where the turbos are located. Certainly there's the exhaust.
The Hexis crew going straight to work in the back of the car.
That's where I think that's where the turbos are located. Certainly there's the exhaust.
The Hexis crew going straight to work in the back of the car.
That's where I think that's where the turbos are located. Certainly there's the exhaust.
The Hex's crew going straight to work in the back of the car.
That's where I think that's where the turbos are located. Certainly, there's the exhaust system from which the turbos come. Oh, well, look at that.
Ide goes wide. Enzo Ede gets all out of shape under braking for turn 9, and Mike Parisi, who was putting him under pressure, so close to darting through.
The back end of the Ferrari just snapped.
We go on board with Mark Basseng, best seat in the house to watch the attack. Eads going defensive. He's going to force Mike Parisi to the outside. so. So 2 positions lost in the space of 2 corners. He's been shuffled out. De Moustier on the grass, dropping down the order. His teammate might be past him too.
Yeah, all that began at the end of the straight where he lost the first position to the Ferrari, and then he was out of position on the racetrack, and he just got simply bullied out of the way. But that's what motor racing is about. You create your own opportunities.
Oh,
this
number
is
1 McLaren
into the
Fred
pits.
McAvicky, after a genius start, engine off, the Hexis crew going straight to work in the back of the car.
That's where I think that's where the turbos are located. Certainly there's the exhaust system from which the turbos come. Well, look at that.
Eze goes wide. Enzo Weed gets all out of shape under braking for turn 9, and Mike Parisi, who was putting him under pressure, so close to darting through.
The back end of the Ferrari just snapped.
We go on board with Marc Basseng, best seat in the house to watch the attack. Eads going defensive. He's going to force Mike Parisi to the outside once more. Let's see what Parisi can do on the brakes. Enzo Eid, we saw a little bit squirrely under braking for the next corner, but he holds it.
Yeah. Oh, and he's come back under the in the undercut, so he's got the job done.
Yep, here's a look at the replay then. He takes the nice wide line in. Ide needed to take less speed into the corner and hug the inside.
But you can see Enzo Ide was off the throttle waiting to get the car around the corner at the point where Mike Parisi was hard on the throttle, driving that Porsche alongside and then ahead of the Ferrari. Drive-through penalty for car 3 and car 9, false start.
So Tony Verlander from 2nd place is going to have a drive-through penalty, and Mike Parisi from 4th place is going to have a drive-through penalty. That is a real shame for this race, really, because it was shaping up very, very nicely up at the front.
Look at Fred McAvicky. He was absolutely flying, but we can't really tell about the Ferrari or the Porsche to see whether they, I mean, obviously the stewards could tell, but from that head-on shot, it was too long a shot. The cars were too compressed. Clearly, they saw full starts from number 3, the Ferrari, number 9, the Porsche, but Fred McAvicky was the one on a charge from the back row of the grid.
The lights were green when Fred McAvicky went for it, to be fair. You could see just up at the front that the lights had gone green, and that's a mega start down into the first corner. Then comes Mike Parisi then to serve his drive-through penalty. This promotes these two up into 3rd position, and Verlander, has he come into for his drive-through as well? Yes, he has. So both the drivers have come in for their drive-through penalties. So the order now, those two matte black WRT Audis out the front, 1st and 2nd. Enzo Eid is now in 3rd position with Marc Basseng behind him in 4th. And that is Benjamin Lariche going in very, very deep indeed, as he is involved in a battle, I think, with that's Albert von Turn Taxis, isn't it? So this is down for 14th position, Albert von Turn Taxis. Nicky Meyer-Melnhoff up in front in 13th. Is this the chance for Marc Basseng? No, Enzo Eid has got it covered, and Basseng's got through, actually.
Basseng has gotten through.
That's Pastorelli.
That's Pastorelli now, so somewhere we didn't see as we're watching the battle further down the field. Marc Basseng did finally get the job done on the Ferrari that he's been pushing all the way, looking for a gap, trying to force the error. There we go.
Turn 1.
Turn 1 again.
Oh, or was it? No, it wasn't. He had the inside line. Is Enzo Eid just going to go too deep in defence? Yes, he is. And Basseng will simply drive around the outside. Yes. Oh, a bit of contact possibly there. But Enzo Eid got out of shape, but good move. Mike Parisi is about to make a move on Maxime Martin, looking out of the window. But when will either of these two Audis come into the pits? Because Stefan Ortelli, surely they're going to leave Stefan Ortelli out for as long as possible. Parisi goes through past Maxime Martin, down into the hairpin. Another clinical overtake from Mike Parisi, showing his experience. Now, is Enzo Eid going to come in? Will Nicky Pastorelli come in?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, and they both come in. So this is going to be a straight. That was close to cutting the white line.
They clipped the white line. Whether that will be seen as an offence, we have seen cars penalised for going over it. Whether you clip it is considered going over or not, we wait to see.
Talk about a pit stop battle. Look at this. Francesco Castellacci getting ready.
I'm expecting to see Enzo Eid being poured out of the Ferrari, but he's out of the car and he's giving Francesco Castellacci a hand to get back in. So maybe I'm over-egging the pudding at the minute, but certainly Enzo Eid was under a lot of pressure throughout that 25-minute stint in the Ferrari.
So which of these two cars in the battle for ultimately 4th position is going to get out first? Enzo Eid still up on the jacks. Is this the final wheel for all-inkl? I think it is. Oh, this looks a bit clumsy and slow from AF Corsa, and it's comfortable for Nicky Pastorelli.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, and we saw that there's the Castelletti Ferrari now moving. There was confusion around the rear wheel change of the left rear of that car, whereas Mercedes had a slightly more seamless stop, and they've gained an advantage.
Well, there's the McLaren. You will see the McLaren coming through at an absolute snail's pace, and not looking good.
No, there's a problem.
Ortelli in, race leader. Stefan Ortelli comes into the pits, and that means that the lead is inherited by Frank Stippler on his 35th birthday. And can he put in the kind of lap times that it is required to leapfrog Stefan Ortelli potentially?
The two Audis were doing lap times of just below the moment at 29.7, 29.8. So we see Ortelli out, and Laurens van Voor gets in to that Audi, and it looks pretty much as we saw yesterday. It's a battle between these two team cars, and now the driver change is complete. It's the left front. The gun gets onto it, and then it's just remove the left rear. Oh, and the gun spins off the nut. The nuts, of course, are on the wheel as it goes on to the hub, so the gun just has to literally reattach to the nut and spin it up, and it's locked.
In comes Frank Stippler. He's going to hand over to Oliver Jarvis now. And how quick will this pit stop be? Their teammate is currently just heading down the long back straight into the hairpin at turn 7. So it's going to be interesting to see.
As they say, it'll be a bit of nip and tuck.
Yeah,
it's going to be very close, because with getting the driver change, that can be done within the time it takes to change all 4 wheels and tyres. There is the car that potentially will regain the lead of this race, now in the hands of Laurens van Voor.
Mark Basseng in as well. He's going to hand over to Marcus Winkelhock. That'll be interesting to see what plays out for 3rd position as well.
Cutting between the Audi and the Mercedes, but it's the Audi that came in before the Mercedes, back to the Audi. Left rear comes off. There is the car that may well take the lead of this race.
I think
in fact,
will,
there's no thinking about it. It's going to take it.
Is it though? They're right at the exit of the pit lane though, Team WRT. So who is it going to be? Is it going to be 33 or 32 to come out in the lead? It's 33 by the looks of it. Oliver Jarvis, a slicker pit stop, and he is out in front.
Well, yeah, I would have bet on the 32 car getting the advantage, simply because that was the car that was up to speed. Oliver Jarvis is going to have to be very defensive. He's got to find a way to keep Van Voor behind him. And it looks as if the Van Voor car can't really take advantage of that additional lap. When the tyres are up to temperature, Oliver Jarvis did what he had to do. Sometimes it's pretty, other times not. But right now, the two Audis side by side.
Going down into the hairpin, it looks as though Oliver Jarvis is going to hold it onto the inside. But does he have the heat in the tyres and the brakes to hang on? He does at the moment. Van Voor trying to get the cut back into the right-hand kink at turn 8. Almost gets his nose up the inside. Great battle for the lead between the two teammates. Into the left-handers at turn 9 and 10. We go on board with Van Voor. Van Voor tasted victory yesterday. He wants it again.
Yeah, and he was on that last lap. He was 0.3 of a second quicker than the Audi leading ahead of us. So we see them coming down the straight. Van Voor beginning to show the nose, goes down the inside, takes a big punt down the inside. Jarvis, can he overcake, gets the cut back, but that was it. You could see Van Voor was lining up to make that move, just was a little bit too ambitious, and when he put the brakes on. Well, there we see the repeat of what took place just over a lap ago, and simply just couldn't slow the car down.
And this is Thomas Enger battling with Michael Bartels, who is battling with Alexei Vasiliev, so this is all over 8th position. 8th position is the Aston, 9th is the BMW, and 10th is the Lamborghini.
There he goes, he's made it, but Bartels is going to go around the outside, tries the cutback, but great drive by Peter Cox to force that issue and take away the position from the BMW.
And a little bit out of shape in there.
Not only a little bit, that was a real sort of twitch, and again, not the sort of thing that does the confidence any good.
No, it'll be a little bit gingerly going into the next couple of corners, and this could allow Michael Bartels back actually. So this 3-car train over 8th position, pretty entertaining as we head down into turn 13. Now we saw that Thomas Enger liked that move into the first corner. He's got to try and line himself up out of 14, keep it almost flat out, and
and he's gone over the white line.
Now Vasiliev.
And he's hit it again.
That's because he's had a drive-through penalty. That's it for the pit lane exit, and the change for the lead. Laurens van Voor is through, and this time he does get his stop, and he's passed Oliver Jarvis. Laurens van Voor takes the lead in the 32 Audi. Let's hear from Frank Stippler.
Ollie was fighting hard to hold on to his position, but Laurens has taken the advantage.
Yes, he just took the lead. He lost it, and it's quite a big gap already. So it seems to be that it is still a hard and long race for Oliver, because the Mercedes are catching up quite fast. So I hope he can stay on second place.
And this is the battle over 6th position, with 5th position starting to pull away up the load a little bit with Francesco Castellacci. Let's hear from Peter Cox's teammate, Daryl O'Young. He's down in the pit lane with Haley.
Daryl, do you think Peter's going to be able to fight his way through the traffic?
Well, yeah, he's doing a really good job right now. I struggled a bit with the full tanks, and he's doing really well with the car right now, so we had to pass the lap, and he's pushing hard, so we'll see what he can do against the Ferrari.
Is Cox going to be close enough? No, he is not. He's super late on the brakes, though.
Yeah, and it looked like the Ferrari was about as late as he could get as well, but Philippe Salaquada is not offering up any opportunities whatsoever to Peter Cox.
Into turn 13 then for the final time. It's been a perfect weekend so far for the team WRT Audis. They were quickest in testing on Friday. They won the qualifying race, and now they're going to win the championship race with a 1-2. Laurens Vanthoor crosses the line. Frank Stippler delighted with second place, only just 0.6 of a second ahead of Markus Winkelhock. Tremendous performance from the Mercedes. This is the battle for 6th into the final corners now, and it is going to be Philippe Salaquada that holds on. So the number 4 Ferrari comes home in 5th place, Francesco Castellacci. 3 Salaquada in 6th place, and Peter Cox in 7th, with Thomas Zager, his teammate, in 8th position. So it's 2 by 2 actually, the top 8. But well, the WRT Belgian Audi Club absolutely delighted. Stefano Telli runs out to congratulate his team after watching the final few moments on the TV screen, and what a weekend it's been for them. Interesting to see what Frank Stippler and Oliver Jarvis's reactions will be, because they were leading this race on a few occasions, and both times they got passed by their teammates. Stippler got overtaken and Oliver Jarvis got overtaken, but I imagine they'll still be pretty happy with a 1-2.
Well, I have to say, I mean, no Stefano Telli from old. I mean, he's a great GT sports car driver, but I think Laurens Vanthoor did a really impressive job here today, and got the overtake, ran up close to the back of Oliver Jarvis, tried in a number of occasions, but finally the issue was resolved in Vanthoor's favour, and that's a very strong drive, finishing 3.7 seconds ahead of your teammate in identical cars. And of course, once he was ahead, he was then able to run at a pace which was not stressing the car, stressing the tires, and there was no challenge to him, unlike Oliver Jarvis, who had to be on his toes to ensure that Markus Winkelhock in the first of those all-inkl Mercedes-Benz didn't take that second place away.
Let's hear then from our race winners, Stefano Telli and Laurens Vanthoor.
Congratulations, Laurens. What an impact you're making on the team.
Yeah, it's incredible. I don't have any words. I don't know if my father's watching. It's his birthday. I think this is quite a good present. And it's just perfect job by all the team. The car was great. Stefan did a wonderful job. I don't have any more words.
Stefan, congratulations. It's turning out to be quite the pairing.
I think it's good to share the victory. That's new for Laurent, but happening twice in a weekend, we couldn't expect that. It's just a dream weekend. The sister car is also very quick. We had a very good start. Was not so easy out there. I mean, the condition changed, of course, because yesterday was a rain race and today is a dry race, but the car reacted very, very well. We are so pleased for WRT and Audi. It's a great day, and what a move, man. Bravo, bravo.
Thank you.
Pleased with that overtake, isn't he, Stefano Telli? Of course, this was his home race. We move to Laurens Vanthoor's home race in 2 weeks' time in Belgium. So they will get their home advantage out of the way in the first 2 rounds of the season. And Zolder, well, we saw last year when GT1 went there, it's a great circuit for GT cars. 2x2 formation, as you can see, all the way down into 8th position. We have the 2 BMWs, Vita41 Racing Team. Didn't see much of them, unfortunately. They'll be hoping to find some more pace when we get to Zolder in 2 weeks' time. The Porsche in 9th position, as we say, not really representative of their very entertaining race, and very impressive pace from Mike Parisi. I think Parisi a very experienced racer. Matt Halliday, very experienced, quick racer. They're going to be a driver pairing to watch in the rest of the season.
Oh, there's no doubt that's a car that's capable on its day of having a victory.
They are going to receive their trophies this afternoon. Of course, 4 drivers on the podium from the Belgian Audi Club. 3rd place for Mark Basseng and Marcus Winkelhock in the all-inkl.com Munich Motorsports Mercedes SLS. And a very strong performance from them. 2nd place, Frank Stippler and Oliver Jarvis for Team WRT. And the race winners, Lawrence Van Thor and Stefan Ortelli. And the team's trophy handed to WRT as well. It's a very rural, rustic venue, but it's given us a great weekend. We'll see you in Zolder in 2 weeks' time. Thank you very much for joining us.